Now when that performance finished, ooh girl, we need some water. Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Do you miss Zico and Rain? Because I sure do. But today it's all about Ireland and welcome to the #1 place for all of your Ireland content needs. Let's get it up. Now of course today we're going to be sitting back and relaxing with episode 9. We're almost in the double digits of Ireland, so if you're into that kind of thing, please consider subscribing. But I'm really excited about this episode. This must be one of my favourite episodes out of Ireland so far, because there's a lot of things in there that we don't really get to see the Islanders do. Like going on trips overseas, or like the pet store. But basically this episode's a lot of fun, and I genuinely feel like that this episode is what everybody's going to make their like Ireland crack videos out of. Like we've got my man Sanu getting shocked by the camera. We've got Jay squirting a bottle of honey into his mouth. We've got Taki eating a moisture satchel. And of course we've got Sung Hoon, the man himself, Sung Hoon, playing VR and getting scared the crap out of zombies. Like honestly, same. Now of course everybody, I will be watching the video and giving my opinions along the way. I know how much you love my opinions, and I love how you have yours as well, so shout out in the comments below. I love reading them. I'll leave some timestamps up here for you so you can skip to your favourite chapter, and of course as usual everybody, the loading bar is separated into chapters so you can just skip to your favourite part. But everybody, let's jump straight into it with some performance prep. Let's get it. So before we get into the performance prep, there's two major bombs that the producers have dropped on us. The first one is whoever gets first out of this performance ends up getting double the votes for the next 24 hours. And the second one is that Heesung gets to decide who's in his team and what song he wants to do. Now of course, like I said in my last episode, with great power comes great responsibility, and we have seen on the last episode that maybe being the one that gets to choose these things isn't the best decision. So everybody, welcome to the chemistry test. And no, we're not talking about science, but this is about the two boys' performances, and this performance is all about how they work together as a team. Obviously, because that's the end result. But there's two songs. One is called Flicker, the second one is called Dive Into You. And Flicker looks like it's a little bit more mature, it's very like sensual, dare I say sexual. And we've got Dive Into You. Then we've got Dive Into You, and that one's a little bit more hip-hop, R&B, my kind of vibe, and we'll talk more about the songs later, but let's focus on the members first. Now in my opinion, I'd like to put out there in the world about this is that Heesung won by a clear margin in the last episode, and I feel like that as much as Bang PD doesn't want to get involved in the voting, I feel like that ultimately he has to be happy with the decision that everybody else makes. Like, he's the CEO, and he's the one who made this show, and at the end of the day I feel like that maybe behind the scenes, Bang PD definitely will have some say to what the end result is. And I find that the fact that Heesung gets to pick the song and the members for this group really plays into those thoughts that I really feel like regardless of what happens, I think Bang PD is going to want Heesung in the group, whether anybody likes it or not. I feel like they're going to give him the most opportunities to be in that final 7. And I really feel like that their decision at the end of last episode may have influenced exactly what they knew was going to happen in the next one. Now of course Heesung picks Flicker, and he's chosen his teammates to be Sunghoon, Jake, Jungwon and Kay. Now when I see these 5 boys together in one group, I feel like this is a very masculine team. Like there's a lot of like masculine energy, there's barely any femininity in here, except for maybe Sunghoon. I know Jay is out of it, so Jay would also be a good pick, but I really feel like, as we'll see a little bit later in their performance preparation, that Heesung's team that he chose himself doesn't work in his favour. Until the end result, of course, but I really feel like that he's really ignited the fire in the other members that he didn't pick. Now, talking about Jay, Jay feels really disheartened and he feels really almost betrayed that Heesung didn't pick Jay to be in his team. But that really works in his favor because I feel like he's really inspired Jay to do that much harder, and he's inspired all the other members of the other team that much harder to beat the team that Heesung made himself. And I really feel like that at this point in the series, we start to see like what a dynamic would be and like what look is Big Hit going to go for when they pick the final 7. Are they going to have like a mixed group of like masculine and like, you know, kind of funny feminine guys, or are they all going to be like hyper masculine and be like another like Monster X? Now everything reaches a tipping point when Jay and Heesung play a game of rock paper scissors, and boy, the tension, you could cut it with a knife. And it's at that moment Jay snapped. Like he just snapped and he's had enough of Heesung's crap. Like, if you play with fire, you're gonna get burned. Now, I really love how Jay, right from the get-go, immediately has the best intentions for him and his team, and he actually works with his team to find out their strengths and weaknesses and places them in the best position possible. I don't think that's ever been done before in Ireland, where one person actually is the leader and actually assigns the roles based on what he thinks and what he knows. I really have a lot of respect for Jay, and Jay definitely deserves to be like up there. Like, Jay's kind of up there with Heesung in regards to like leadership. Now with Team Flicker, there's much more conflict with who's actually taking the lead role. Even though Heesung is the lead, Heesung really doesn't want to step over Kay. And I feel like that in this episode, we tend to see that Kay has a little bit of a bitchy side, but I'm living for that. Like, I live for Kay no matter what. But I really feel like that Kay is kind of setting up a wall for himself that nobody can actually get past, and I really wish that Heesung wouldn't step back and confront Kay a little bit more, because obviously Kay's not afraid to tell everybody else how he feels, and I really see a lot of myself in Kay, because I don't like admitting that I'm wrong either. There's this one saying that says, "Too many chefs spoil the broth," and I just really feel like that in Heesung's team, or Kay's team, there's too many leaders, and I feel like that when there's too many leaders, there's bound to be arguments and there's bound to be many missteps along the way. Now, next is my final part about this whole episode, that they finally show some boys going out of the island to have some fun. Like I said to my friends the other day, like I really want them to like just have one episode that's almost like a BTS run episode, but with all the island members. And I guess this is kind of as close as what we're going to get. But I even said like before they went on their 2-week break that I wanted them to go to Jeju Island or something like that. And like, I guess this is as close as Jeju Island as they're going to get. A pet store, a VR store, and an ice skating rink. And like, you know what? Sung-hoon in this episode is just living his best life. Like, I just love Sung-hoon so much. I feel like he's such boyfriend material, and he's just so graceful on the ice skating rink, and I'm really just glad to see them just let loose and have fun and just be kids. We never see them just being boys. Like, I really love seeing them in a more natural habitat, and I'm not sure when we'll see that again, so I definitely want to embrace that. Okay, now let's move on to the performances, and let's start with Flicker. Now, when I first saw the outfits for the two boys, I thought this is a bit unfair. One of them's in suits and the other one's in like b-boy outfits. And I'm just like, that's a bit unfair because like obviously they're all gonna look better in suits. But once I actually see both the performances, I understand why they were styled that way. Now, of course, at the start of Flicker, Heesung attacks you with his eyes, and then when Kay comes around from behind him, he just gives you that wink, and it just attacks Bang PD in the chest. It's so cute. And it's like, even Bang PD's wet for Kay. Like, I feel like he's like luring you into his bondage room, like 50 Shades of Grey up in here, Kay. 50 Shades of Kay. Now when Jungwon comes out, all I can think about in this whole performance is how uncomfortable Jungwon is. Like, could you imagine having a dress jacket and then having a belt strapping you in? Like, I could imagine the freedom of movement in that is just so restricting, and he just looks so comfortable the whole time. Now this whole performance is just a visual feast, is a great way of putting it, and they just hit so hard. Like when they do this move, I'm just like, they all hit hard and they all look perfect, and that masculine energy is just oozing out of them. They all look so good. Now when Jake comes around, oh girl, he been looking fine. And like he just learns everything that the judges taught him when they were doing practicing, and I'm just so proud for Jake. Being the fellow Aussie that Jake is, I have to support Jake no matter what. So I'm really happy that like he really flowed with this and he really perfected what he came here to perfect. So good on you, Jake, proud of you. Now when that performance finished, ooh girl, we need some water. Because that was one hot ride, like, am I right? And of course the judges think so as well, and Jake has always improved, and Bang PD's all over all the boys, and I'm just like, Bang PD, please, have some water, Bang PD, you're gonna need to cool down after that. Now, when the Dive Into You team introduce themselves, they're just all full of energy and they're so charismatic. Like, of course, they have all the people in their team with the biggest personalities. And I just love the way how Jay introduces himself and the team by saying, "What's up, divers?" And it's like, just that vibe that Jay gives. It's just unparalleled. That unparalleled energy that Jay gives. And each one of them has a really unique spin, which the other team didn't do, and I'm not really sure why. Maybe this team just got more airtime.
Who am I? It's Daniel! 설명은 무대에서 보여줄게요.
When this song starts, I'm just like, oh my god, Jay just attacks you with his look more than the other boys did. And I genuinely feel like that this song is a much better song than the previous one. Like, I feel like that Flicker is a relatively boring song because without the people dancing and without the intricate choreography. Like when they match up English words with the Korean, like flawless and marvelous and those little intricate things that would be in a normal song. Like I could actually see a fully formed band release this song and it'd go to the top of the charts. Like it's just so perfect. I go dive into you, yeah. Trombone, slow, yeah. I go dive into you, yeah. Jay and Nikki, they just pop off, and then as we go further and further in, it just draws you in, and like I just feel so encapsulated and speechless by this performance. I also love this part when they slide across the floor backwards. I feel like I've seen that in like a Beyonce song or something like that. Like they're just so on point. And for some reason this song reminds you of something that like 2 PM would release or something like that. But I just love the choreography and they just hit so hard. It's so on point. I'm on this, let's get on this. I just love the middle of this song. It's just so good. How they say like, marvelous, I'm honest, I'm modest, I'm marvelous. Like Daniel, you're so good. Like Daniel, just rise Daniel, rise to the top. It's just so awesome. Now I also feel like I need to shout out to Hanbin as well because I don't think I've seen Hanbin get so much airtime in a performance, and he really shines through, especially in his like fluoro green jacket. And they're saying, come touch me like this in this mysterious abyss, dive into you. What are they diving into? Like, is this getting a little bit like MA 15 plus? Let's get it. I just love at the end how they're just also gangster, and it's even funny seeing like Sanu and Tucky like act extra gangster like for this. I just feel like that's so like out of the norm for them, but they just all hit hard, and I just love this team. It's so good. Now, there's no subtitles yet for what the judges said about the Dive Into You team, but based on the members' reactions, it doesn't look like it was too positive, but I still have faith. And then the judges announced the person who came first in the performance, and drumroll please, it's Jake! Oh my god, I'm so proud of Jake. Like, please, ladies and gentlemen, a moment for the national anthem. Okay, we're done. But I'm so happy for Jake. Oh, I just like, finally. Like, I feel like Jake has kind of just been in the middle, and I feel like that his strength and his willingness to learn and his willingness to not accept number 7, but to shoot straight to the top is just so amazing. And I'm just so glad that my fellow Australian gets to live another day, hopefully, anyway. So everybody, that's where our episode ends for today, and next time we'll be left with a final 10. 10 people left, episode 10, all the double digits are coming together for one last time, and I can't wait to see all of you on the next episode as well. So please leave a comment below, I love reading them, and I will look forward to our next episode together. It won't be too far away. Bye everybody! Someone's in you.